Hello, I really wanted to chat to you about Reiki and children. And it is a question that I get asked a lot. And I wanted to go through, I guess, the different um, stages of, obviously childhood, from the womb onwards, and how Reiki can play a part in not only um, I guess as a benefit for our children, but also as a benefit for us. So let's start with preconception. So learning Reiki can have so many benefits when it comes to preconceiving. The reason being is because whether or not you have actual issues with conception, Reiki itself, just the multitude of benefits that Reiki offers you will help with obviously conceiving. So, for example, if you are stressed out, obviously, there are all aspects that will limit the possibility of getting pregnant. So stress, if you are having limiting beliefs or, some kind of fears around pregnancy and becoming a mom, or, how it's going to change your life, all of that kind of stuff. All of those things can have an impact on basically whether or not you get pregnant. So Reiki can really help with all of that stuff. It also helps with actually manifesting and creating the energetic space of bringing in and welcoming what you want. So, a new baby. So it can help with a lot of those sorts of things. It can help heal wounds that you might have around becoming a parent yourself, or even fears around even the relationship, or fears around being the type of household you want to have, or the type of environment the child's going to come into. Whatever it is that is limiting you and holding you back in any way, Reiki obviously, as a benefit of helping us to transcend those things and transmute them and turn those fears and limitations and whatever lower vibrations that are there, transmuting those into something that is a high vibration. So it works in a way that will really help us to I guess, make space for a baby to come into. It also heals on a physical level, as you probably know as well. So, if you've got physical issues that are stopping you from getting pregnant, it can also help and complement that as well. I'm certainly not saying that Reiki is the only thing you should be doing if you are trying to conceive, but these are all benefits of adding Reiki as a practice to whatever else you are doing as well. So that's, I guess, the preconception. It can also help with, if you're a couple trying to conceive, it can also help bring you guys together to help cultivate the energy and that environment that you're wanting to bring a child into as well. So that's preconception. The next space is pregnancy. So once you are pregnant, again, there's such a great list of benefits there. All of those things that we talked about in preconception are very similar when we are pregnant to the connection between the partners, the fears that you have around pregnancy and labor and giving birth and having children itself. It can help with all of that, the anxiety, stress, insomnia, which is a big one, nausea, another big one. So it can help with a lot of the, I guess, the challenges that one faces when they are pregnant as well. Physical issues too. So all of that, all of the benefits of Reiki can help with pregnancy. A lot of, once you are pregnant, let's say you have generational or ancestral wounds, mother wounds, that kind of stuff. limiting beliefs. Some people have asked me, you know, is it too late? Like, is it too late to heal my stuff when I'm pregnant? Should I really be doing that work before I want to have a baby? The reality is that you're never healed completely, right? And if you're waiting for that moment, then it's too late. So you need to do what's right for you. And just trust that the fact that you are on this healing journey, whenever you made that decision to be on that journey, is perfect. So let's say, for example, you've had children and the children are older now, you know, let's say my mother or father, you know, it's never too late for them to start healing themselves. And I know that the healing they're going to do is going to help me, no matter how old I am. So please don't feel like if by the time you're pregnant, it's too late, because it's not. And it's certainly not too late either once they're born too. So pregnancy, I used Reiki while I was in labor as well as pregnancy. So even during labor, Reiki is exceptional, even postpartum, with the healing, with your, you know, I was really lucky. I didn't have any, I guess, you know, I had 2 natural home births. I didn't tear at all. Sorry for those of you who don't have children yet and want to, and don't want to scare you away with that too much information about tearing, but it happens, right? And it's something that a lot of people don't talk about. But you know, it's still very much stretched and feels like you've had a baby down there, right? So you know, it's important for you to do Reiki on yourself and healing. It also helps you just to accept where you're at and bring love and compassion through the changes that your body is facing, you know, throughout pregnancy, but also during labor, and then after postpartum, and even, you know, even now, like my youngest is 2, and my body's never gonna, you know, it's never gonna be exactly the way that it was, right? So it really helps with just accepting and loving your body unconditionally too through those changes. So that was, you know, there are a few ways, even postpartum, even the breastfeeding, it can be really stressful, you know, even not breastfeeding, whatever you choose to do, like there's always stresses and the decision making that you have to make when you're a parent, you know, as to a baby. The decisions begin as soon as you start looking to have a baby, you know, the decisions about the parenting decisions begin. So I feel like Reiki really helps allow you to get to that space of making decisions based on love, not out of fear. So Reiki really helps with that as well. And of course, when you're pregnant, during the labor, actually connecting with the baby, practicing Reiki with your baby is so powerful. Yes, the benefits are amazing and the baby feels them as well. And then, of course, as a newborn, practicing Reiki with your baby, and then it shouldn't stop. Reiki helps with when you are stressed out, when the baby's stressed out, just helping them to calm down. So sleeping better if they've got like sore tummies, or they're, you know, as children, they are they hurt themselves, or they feel different big emotions, you know, as they're growing older and older. It helps with all of that stuff, right? Physical health, their emotional health, their mental health. So it can always help. Big transitions. My oldest daughter started school this year, and so a big part was also helping her transition through that, you know, and helping her settle. And there was lots of big emotions being felt, so really just holding her in Reiki, again, it helps me to center, helps me to calm down, and also able to show up as the parent that she needs me to be. in my highest expression, right? She doesn't need my fear projected onto her, which is often what happens, as parents, because we're afraid. We unconditionally love these little people, and we want to protect them. So it's really important that we are coming from our highest expression and trying to parent from that space. It's not always easy. I completely understand that. I totally get that. But Reiki has really, really helped me with that. And it helps them to also connect to their highest expression as well. I believe it's a tool that if we are, setting that example for our children, that there is space for them to connect, to go within, to feel their body, feel where they're feeling their emotion inside when they're old enough to really, there's checking even when they are where they're feeling it in their body, and they're able to put some kind of context around what it is they're feeling. They're able to focus on it. You're really teaching them some skills without even having a Reiki attunement that can help them to breathe into that space, or to think about love or glitter, or whatever it might be. Often at nighttime, I'll take my older one through a meditation and ask her to when she inhales, just like when I teach my students, my Reiki students, to inhale and connect with Reiki energy, connect with love. I'm asking her to do the same thing. And we come up with love, what that feels like for her. So, for her, it's often a white light or glittery light. And I'm asking her to connect with that energy. So getting them to practice Reiki, or practice some kind of, to have some kind of tool that can help them calm down. Their breath, they all breathe and they all understand breath. They can understand how to take big breaths in and big breaths out, and really allowing them to use what they have, tools that they have. Of course, crystals are an incredible tool as well for them to use. They have the ability to hold on to something, and that can make a world of difference as well. Asking a child to actually hold on to a crystal, and even to put it at their heart center and to breathe in the crystal's energy, telling them that, the crystal, like it's a rose quartz, and it's love, like it means love. So when you hold on to it, it feels like love, and what's love for you, and asking them to come up with their own, their own way of comforting themselves. And really, that's what we're trying to do as parents, is empower them so that they're able to have their own tools, so that when we're not around, they've got something themselves, right? When they're at school, or or whatever, that they have some way to kind of regulate themselves and find safety and love within themselves. So there are some things that I do with my own children. Now, as they get older, I will absolutely begin to teach them Reiki when I feel like they are mature enough, emotionally mature, spiritually mature enough. And of course, at a mental maturity as well. It's hard to say how old that's going to be, but when I feel like they are ready to, I will definitely teach them. It's something that I'm really excited about sharing with them. But for the moment, they're very much interested in crystals, sound bowls, and playing with those things, and realizing that they are also ways to regulate how they're feeling, and their breath, and and just touching their heart, and that kind of stuff. So as a facilitator, when I'm teaching them like how to use these things, I am sending them Reiki. I am holding them in Reiki. So, you know, when we are doing that meditation, or when I'm asking her to hold on to a crystal and that sort of stuff, I am holding her in Reiki energy. So facilitating Reiki with her. So remember that you can always do that. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to lay there next to them all the time. You can, and I do, which is beautiful. And, you know, I find moments to do that regularly, whether it be just when I'm holding them, even if it's a quick cuddle, before they walk into school, or if it's when they've hurt themselves, holding their knee, you know, if they've fallen over and they've scraped their knee, that sort of stuff. Reiki, doing Reiki on the crystal that they've got, or they're you know, that's in their school bag, or they're holding on to, they're sleeping with. Practicing Reiki on their actual bed, on their toys, in their room, on their food. You know, this is a way that I really allow Reiki just to work through me, and you know, be, I guess it's a way to connect with them by not making them feel like they also have to lay down to receive it either. I also feel like this is a way for me to connect with my child, and know that I am always holding them in that unconditional love. It really is such a gift. If they're unwell and they're, you know, in their bed and I'm in my bed, I'm doing distance Reiki with them, you know, usually using myself as a proxy. My daughter's got a cough, for example, I'll hold on to my chest and practice Reiki on myself, as a proxy for her. The other thing is too that I don't read my children. You can absolutely, if that's one of your gifts and you like to read them, that's fine. Sometimes I might, if it, you know, if it feels right, but to be honest with you, most of the day-to-day stuff, I feel like, you know, I want to allow them to be free sovereign beings. And I also honor that, you know, I'm a free sovereign being, and I know that me doing my own healing is helping them. And me understanding myself better is going to help them as well. So that's kind of where I put my focus. When I feel like I've picked up something from them, like, oh, I can see that they are upset about this, or they, you know, maybe their confidence isn't great in this area, or whatever it might be. I know that's a reflection on something that I want to work through too. If it triggers me, I know, okay, that's mine. I'm going to work through that myself. And I know that's going to have an impact on my child as well. And I know just holding them in the Reiki and love will help that anyway, regardless. And we also don't always have to understand or know everything, right? It's also just that element of trust and surrender and letting go. So that's really important too. The other thing, for me, that's really important, but you know, you're the guardian. And in general, they say until a child is about 7, I mean, you know, that's when their analytical brain is really forming, their throat chakra is in development. And then, you know, allowing them that space to really decide whether or not they want Reiki and whether or not they want you to read them as well, and really intuitively pick up on whatever they are feeling or thinking. So, you know, as my children get older, even now I ask my older daughter, do you want Reiki, especially if she's laying down with me and I'm putting her to sleep, for example, which doesn't always happen anymore or every night. But I will ask her, you know, do you feel like some Reiki? Do you want me to put my hand on your back, on your heart, or, you know, on your tummy or whatever? So I'm allowing her that freedom and that sovereignty. which is important for me to do that with my children. So it's just about finding your own relationship with your children, and I guess what feels good for you guys. But really, the the possibilities are endless. So I don't want you to just feel like you have to sit there and do the Reiki in a really I guess formal way. It can be anything, and it's certainly very difficult to ask a child to sit there and lay down for 3 minutes through each chakra or something like that. So don't feel like you have to do full Reiki sessions either with your children at any age. It's just whatever they need and whatever feels really good for both of you and really nourishing. And then as they get older, as I said, it's really about you thinking about how you can empower them to find their own ways of soothing themselves, of calming themselves, of working through their own stuff, and I feel like if we can, if we can really teach them how to do that from as young as possible, which isn't always possible. I understand that, but the earlier we can, I think the better. We have this real possibility then, to help empower our children to be more resilient, more confident, and much more aware as well. So I hope that helps in terms of doing Reiki with children. And I'd love to hear about your creativity and how you incorporate Reiki in your day-to-day life, as a parent, and as a facilitator as well, as a practitioner, if you are working with children. I would also love to know about that as well. And I hope that you are all having a beautiful day, and I hope that your practice is going so well, however that may look for you.